Welcome to the 2026 Coastin with Quayz series, where I travel around to a bunch of amusement parks in the eastern United States. I head to some new parks, some old ones, and I get on a bunch of coasters on my journeys. This is East Coastin. Coming up on this episode of East Coastin, I head to Six Flags over Georgia for the very first time. And while I'm there, since it's my first time, I get credit after credit after credit. During my visit, I'm also pleasantly surprised by the beauty of this Legacy Six Flags park. I get some great food, and unfortunately, I have to deal with some weather delays. On top of that, there were a few credits that I was unable to get. So stay tuned to episode 3 of East Coastin, Six Flags over Georgia. Hello, welcome to Coastin with Quayz. Today, I am here at Six Flags over Georgia for another episode of my summer vlog series, East Coastin. I'm super excited. This is my first time at this park. So before I get into what I want to do today, if you could do me a huge favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and then comment about something here at Six Flags over Georgia that you like so that I can have some tips from you. Today, I believe I will be able to get 11 new coaster credits because this is my first time here. It should be 12, but Georgia Gold Rusher has been down the entire season. I am assuming right now that it's still down today. If it's not, I will get a ride on that. But I think I'm gonna make my way towards the back of the park first, like by where Superman is, over to Batman a little bit. And along my way, if there's coasters that don't have a long wait, I will get on them. Some standouts are definitely going to be the Twisted Cyclone, RMC, and Goliath. But there's a lot of coasters in this park, so let's not waste any time. Let's get through security in the main gate and let's get on in. As you make your way to the front entrance here at Six Flags over Georgia, you have the B&M Hyper Goliath wrapping around the entrance area. And then you also have Georgia Scorcher, the B&M stand-up coaster that has not yet been converted to a floorless, and it might stay that way because they repainted it a couple years ago. First impressions of this park, this is one of the nicest Legacy Six Flags parks I've ever been to. The whole entrance area has this really beautiful brick architecture, lots of clean signage, very nice artwork and decoration. So very, very impressed so far with this park. After you go through security and admissions, this is what you are greeted with, this beautiful entrance plaza here. I love the light fixtures. This is probably gorgeous at nighttime. I have to say, so far, Six Flags over Georgia, I can understand why this is one of the 10 parks that Six Flags appointed a park president and is going to be highly investing in. So far, it's gorgeous. And I haven't been on any rides yet. Little souvenir shop over here on the left, candy store over here on the right. So upon looking at the map, this first part of the park is kind of like a big circle. So I can go to the left and go to Georgia Scorcher, and then that'll take me all the way down to kind of like Daredevil Dive. Or I can go to the right and go to Twisted Cyclone, Dahlonega Mine Train, and make my way that way. I think that's actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see what the wait is on Twisted Cyclone. If it's not long, I'll get on it. If it's long, I'll keep moving. The entrance to Twisted Cyclone is really, really close to the front of the park. So this is generally where a lot of people will probably start their day. Cool little kind of like beach themed area here. Looks like the ride exits you into a gift shop, which is par for the course in newer coasters. I don't really see a lot of people lining up. There's a couple people standing here. It doesn't say what the wait is, so let's check it out. All right, credit 246, Twisted Cyclone. That was awesome. And it was a walk-on, so I got 3 rides, front row, back row, and row 6, which is right in the middle. I don't know which one I like the best. The back row was definitely the most intense. Front row and middle were a little bit more tame. So if you are not as much of a fan of the ejector airtime on these RMCs, I'd say sit a little bit closer to the front. But the first half of the ride is really more floaty. It's got a great steep first drop, and that first drop actually kind of caught me off guard because it has a little twist in it right at the very end. But then it goes up into a double inversion, kind of like a reverse cobra roll, and that's super floaty. From there, it hits a huge wave turn, also super floaty. And then from there, the ride goes more into the pops of airtime, the ejector airtime with a lot of smaller hills and so forth. Really, really fun. A lot of people say that this is their least favorite RMC, but I would definitely say that this is better than like maybe Goliath at Six Flags Great America. Definitely better than Jersey Devil Coaster. It's kind of like a tighter version of Wicked Cyclone at Six Flags New England. So if you've ever been on that, that's probably the closest thing that I would compare it to for RMC. But a lot of fun. I'm going to get moving. I was talking to some people, and Goliath has not been running yet today, and apparently it might not open today. So I hope that that is not the case, but I'll keep making my way around the park, and hopefully at some point it opens up for today. As I make my way from Twisted Cyclone over to the next area of the park, I think it's funny to point out that the gift shop for Twisted Cyclone featured primarily Goliath merchandise. I didn't even see any Twisted Cyclone merch in there. But this park is very beautiful. I'm very surprised for a Legacy Six Flags park. While I was waiting for Twisted Cyclone, some other coaster enthusiasts told me not to sleep on Acrophobia, this drop tower. So, since I'm here, I'm going to get a ride on it. So Acrophobia was a lot of fun, but also terrifying. This drop tower is different in that it brings you to the top and then tilts you forward, so you're facing the ground more, and then it drops you. But unlike S&S drop towers, where it starts to slow down as you get about halfway, this keeps you at full speed, I would probably say 75% of the way, and then just abruptly stops. So that was terrifying, but a lot of fun. And I agree, don't sleep on it. If you come to Six Flags Over Georgia, hit that drop tower. I think the next coaster is going to be the Dahlonega Mine Train. I've made it to the entrance here, and it's got this really cool looking barn building behind me. So I'm gonna get a ride on this and get my second credit of the day. Let's go. Well, as far as mine trains go, not too shabby. I think this thing had like 3 lift hills, a bunch of great little turns and dips, a cool little tunnel towards the end. I always think mine trains, especially these old ones, are kind of rough, but it was fun, good family coaster. Another credit in the books. If you move on from Dahlonega Mine Train, you have the Bugs Bunny Boomtown. It's a children's area of the park with a bunch of kids' rides. Looks like we've got a mascot out here today. I thought the Joker Funhouse coaster was back here, but it's not. I have to walk around to the front of the building, so that's where I will go to next. I think that's going to be the third credit of the day. Here's DC Super Friends. This is where the Joker Funhouse coaster is, but also those coaster enthusiasts that told me about the drop tower also told me that the Monster Mansion is one of the best haunted house flat rides, so I think I need to try to do both of these today. Okay, this is kind of cool. The Joker Funhouse has this kind of like entrance plaza area that the coaster kind of wraps around. That's really cool for a kid's coaster. Upon entering this area, I realized that these entrances behind me which is from the kids area that I was in before, also brings you to the Joker Funhouse coaster. So I could have just walked this way through here instead of walking around. Oh well, at least I get some extra steps. The Joker Funhouse coaster is actually a pretty fun kids or family coaster. It's pretty fast. It's got some forceful turns. So not bad for a third credit of the day. I think at this point, though, I am going to get something to eat. The Georgia Sandwich Company looks really good. They have some sandwiches and things in there that are exclusive to that restaurant in the park. So I feel like that's a good place to get my lunch for today. So let's head over there. Yo, the Georgia Sandwich Company with this Italian hero and the pasta salad. This is awesome. A lot of times when you come to amusement parks, it's like really hot food like burgers and chicken fingers. This looks really, really refreshing. Verdict on the meal here, the sandwich was really good. The provolone cheese that they put on that, it's nice and kind of sharp, so that was really good. The pasta salad, that's okay. I'm not a huge fan of olives. If you like olives, you'd probably like it better, but that was okay. But it was really nice to actually eat like a colder meal because it's in the mid-90s and humid today. The Monster Mansion is right here, but I do want to get deeper into the park and get some more credits before I go on that. Georgia Gold Rusher back there, not going to open. I looked on the website and it said it's actually slated to reopen in 2027. But I'm going to get deeper into the park, get some more credits, and then later on tonight, as it gets darker, maybe the Monster Mansion. It's a shame that Georgia Gold Rusher is not running because this ride actually looks like a lot of fun. I know it's simple, I know it's just a shuttle coaster, but it looks really cool. And it's a unique experience, so it's a shame I won't get this credit today. As I'm filming, and you might hear it right now, there is thunder. So I have a feeling some of the coasters are going to shut down for a little bit. I'm going to take cover, cool off for a little bit, but hopefully the coasters don't shut down for too long. Since the weather is a little iffy right now, it'd be a good time to make it back to Superman because once the rides go back up, this might be a good ride to get on, get that credit real quick, and then move on. All right, a little bit of an update. So behind me is the Great American Scream Machine. For about the last hour and a half, everything has been shut down because of lightning. It rained a little bit, and we've just been waiting for rides to open back up. So as soon as things do open back up, I think what I'm gonna do is marathon Superman, Scream Machine, and Blue Hawk. And hopefully I can get those 3 credits pretty quickly, but we'll see what happens. Well, that was a whirlwind. So I was getting tired of waiting in the rain or waiting for the lightning. It really wasn't raining anymore. So I decided to go on the Metropolis dark ride. I forget what it's called. Battle for Metropolis or whatever. It was actually a lot of fun. I did pretty good. But when I got out of that ride, the coasters were back up and running. So I tried to get on as much as I could. Superman was down for maintenance. So I got a couple more rides. I'm gonna montage that now as I make my way over to Daredevil Dive. So check that out and then we'll check back in a moment. So credits 249 and 250 were the Great American Scream Machine and Blue Hawk. Now those are what I call credit coasters. But if I'm being totally honest, Great American Scream Machine, you put some Titan track on that, that could be a really good ride because you get some good airtime, it's just really rough. Blue Hawk, it's an old Vekoma coaster. They did improve it by putting the soft vest restraints on it, but it's still pretty rough. So I don't think I'm gonna hit that again. Behind me, Goliath, it still has not operated today. So I'm not gonna be able to get on Goliath today. But right behind me is Daredevil Dive. So I'm gonna get on this Gerstlauer coaster next.
And down the exit ramp.
I'll tell you what, Daredevil Dive was a lot of fun. You know, Gerstlauer makes a really good roller coaster. They're super smooth. It's always funny going up these first drops because you go completely vertical up the lift hill. Amazing air time off that first drop. Really good hang time on some of the inversions too, especially the last inversion, which is kind of like an inline twist. Great hang time on that. And I love that it's just a lap bar. There's no over-the-shoulder restraint, so you feel so free while you're going through the layout. I feel like Gerstlauer coasters should be more prominent at other parks, especially smaller parks. I would love to see something like this at Dorney Park or a park of that size. But for now, it's going to be one ride because I do have to get more credits, and I have about an hour and a half before park close. But Daredevil Dive, probably my number 2 of the day so far behind Twisted Cyclone. Right next to Daredevil Dive here, we have Gotham City. And this is where Riddler Mindbender and Batman the Ride are going to be. So these are going to be my next stops. I have to say, walking from each area of this park to the next, this is easily the most beautiful Legacy Six Flags park. Now, I know that they've enhanced this park recently. Like I know they repainted a lot of coasters. They've been, doing a lot of landscaping, but I have been thoroughly impressed by this park. Just to reiterate, I mean, look at how nice this Gotham City area looks. You've got nice concrete instead of blacktop. The signage is really nice. The coasters are really clean. Like Riddler Mindbender looks really good in this area. Okay, Riddler Mindbender, here we go. I've heard that this ride is a little bit kind of like wild and crazy. So let's check it out. I'll tell you what, Riddler Mindbender, Schwarzkopf, killing it with the classic coaster. I'll tell you what, for the most part, it's incredibly smooth. There's like maybe one rough spot deep in a valley that dives in a ravine, but other than that, really, really smooth. And it's got 2 vertical loops that are super forceful. I loved that ride. If I have time, I'm definitely going to get another ride on it. But Batman is right next to it, the B&M invert, so I'm going to get on that next. That might have been the most insane B&M invert that I've ever ridden. And I've been on, I think this was my third Batman clone. So I've been on Great Adventures Batman ride, Six Flags Great America's Batman ride, which was the original B&M invert, and now this one. And I don't know why this one feels different, but it was so intense. The inversions were so tight, so whippy. The corkscrews especially were just insanely whippy. And you know, the B&M invert Batman clones are known for having their tight layouts and being more intense than, you know, something like Talon at Dorney Park or Afterburn at Carowinds, or Banshee at Kings Island. But that was amazing. Best Batman clone I've been on. If my math is correct, I have one more credit that I can get today, and that's Georgia Scorcher, the B&M stand-up at the front of the park. Park closes in about, I don't know, 15 minutes, so I'm gonna race up there and see if I can get on it. As I'm making my way up to the front of the park, I'm really wishing that I had more time here today, because I would love to get more re-rides on things. Like I would love to get on Daredevil Dive again. I'd love to get on Mindbender again. I did get 2 rides on Batman and 3 on Twisted Cyclone. That 2.5 hours of not being able to ride anything was kind of killer, you know, especially when you're trying to get footage and stuff. The good news is I do have a plan to come back to this park pretty soon. So anything that I missed today, I'll get then. You know, it stinks that I didn't get Goliath today, because that's the coaster I most wanted to ride today, but I am hoping that it'll be open the next time I come, and if it's not busy like it was today, I'll lap it like crazy. I do also need to get that Superman credit, which is another clone, so I'll wait until the next time I'm here to get it, because it's still down today. So, Georgia Gold Rusher, Goliath, Superman. Wasn't able to get either of those today. Let's end with Georgia Scorcher, or if there's enough time, maybe Twisted Colossus one more time after that. But the next few credits I'll get next time. Well, there we go. Last credit of the day, Georgia Scorcher. I'll tell you what, as far as B&M stand-up coasters go, that was actually pretty good. Normally these rides are very uncomfortable and I don't like them, but this one was actually really smooth. Some of the inversions were pretty forceful, but there were some moments of airtime that I was not expecting. And my favorite moment on the ride was definitely the little wave turn in the middle. So, what can I say about this day here at Six Flags Over Georgia? Well, I will say I was very impressed by this park. Ride operations were really, really good. Every coaster was running 2 trains, even the small ones. I think the only one that wasn't was maybe Joker's Funhouse coaster, but that's a kiddie coaster, so those normally don't have 2 trains. But operations were really smooth. Every single coaster was a walk-on, every single one. So I was able to get so many rides very quickly on coasters. The only hiccup of the day was really just that, you know, we had those thunderstorms which stopped us for about 2.5 hours. As I mentioned before, I will be back here again for the East Coastin series. So if I missed a couple coasters today, hopefully they'll be running then. Overall, great day. Got a bunch of credits, got some re-rides on some great coasters. Next time when I come here, if Goliath is open, I'm gonna marathon that thing. I wanna try to get like 5 to 10 rides on it. I do have to get that Superman credit, and then after that, I'll re-ride whatever I can. I really wanna get on Mindbender a few more times. I'd like to get on Daredevil Dive a few more times, and of course, Twisted Colossus as well. So that's gonna do it. If you have not already, please like, comment, subscribe to stay tuned for everything here on Coastin with Quayz, especially the East Coastin series. And until next time, keep on coasting.